Well, thank you for coming on my show, Matthew.
Hello, Ryochi. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You've been on
Good
my
to see you again.
couple of months ago, and now it's on Roku TV. So,
How exciting.
yes, it's a small world. All the connections I met, and I'm being serious. I've interviewed so many actors. Um, Emotional Ride. You talk about actors that's been on my show from Europe to New York to all the way to California to Seattle to Central Plains to France, even to France and England. So it's all these connections I have that my show has grown, their audience, their fans,
Mhm.
supporters. Um, and I always tell myself this, and I tell everybody this, and I tell people who watch me, it's not about me, it's about my supporters, about my fans, my other guests that's been on my show that's been supporting me. And they know my dream and I know my dream, but this is the connection. We're a family and it spreads and it's been a journey, and I don't know if I told you, but during the pandemic, my life was a mess. I didn't know if I really thought about stopping everything. I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't, this is not happening. I don't know how to process.
I remember seeing a couple of posts. I think I reached out to you as well.
Yeah, and it was a devastating moment. And then of course, last year I went through a mental health breakdown.
Mhm.
It was severe. I am a mental health person. I suffer depression. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I've lost three friends to suicide, and my life has been a mess, right? Especially today on St. Patrick's Day. One of my friends committed suicide on St. Patrick's Day. You know,
Oh
it,
no.
it's been a life struggle. If anybody was going to make a movie about my life, it'll be a very emotional, tear-jerking movie, you know. And for me to have a talk show, talk about mental health, about it's okay to talk about your depression or anxiety or what you're going through is very important to speak up. And for me, it was like a rare moment. People were like, "What's going on? This is not good," And Josh Shamir reached out, called me. Josh Shamir and other people have reached out to me and said, "What's going on? This is not normal." Um, and it's been a roller coaster, and um, I'm doing great now. But I always tell myself and I'll tell people who are in the entertainment industry and who are not that don't treat people when they're going through things. You really don't know what's happening. Mental health is serious, and it's very important to treat people, and um I lost it when Twitch died. I really lost it. I fell down and cried for a while because I don't know the person personally, but you that is like, you see the person so happy, but you don't know what's going on inside. And that's why I tell people, you don't know what's happening. You don't know. So try to reach out, hang out with them, have coffee, because you never know, you could change their life. And my heart goes out to Twitch's family. But anyways, back to me and for you. I'm doing great, and it's just been um and very rough roller coaster, fun roller coaster because I'm on Roku TV, but also it's been a rough because it's just never, I went from the pandemic to everything being normal again, and then again last year it's just been
The pandemic
it's
disrupted
just
everybody.
right. And
Yeah.
then my mental health. Again, last year my mental health was not because of the pandemic. It was just me going through my mental health breakdown.
Yeah. Cheers.
Was the most That was probably the most rarest, never has happened to me in my life. I went through that moment, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't know what my body was going through, but it was the most that has never happened. That has never has happened to me. And that's when my friends reach out to me who are not in entertainment industry and are like, okay, this is not normal. We need to know what's going on, what's happening, you know?
Right. Well, these are your friends and your family for years, probably, right? Who were
Yes.
reaching
And
out
then
to
of
you.
course, Joe Shamir reached out to me, and I remember when he called
Oh.
and I was laying in bed,
Mhm.
sunny outside, blind was closed, the room was dark, no TV was on, just laying in bed. And he called me, and I was crying on the phone, crying. And he, of course, he knew this is not a normal situation, and he said, we can make a movie about this, tell me a story.
Mm.
And this is not it right now. I need to you know, somehow break out of this and be normal again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, there's different ways to work through and process
yes,
the most horrible of feelings,
yeah,
So, and you needed time, I guess, to let those feelings come
right,
through. And
yeah,
it's hard. Suicide is unspeakable. It's unbelievable. It's hard for anybody to really put themselves in the shoes of someone,
and
unless they've struggled with it themselves, but
and you're
it's
right, and I always tell people that, and this is not, this is me telling everybody that we need to talk more about mental health. It comes from the sports, comes from the news media, comes from politicians, come from entertainment. From everybody, we need to talk more about this because we shouldn't be ashamed of talking about it. Um,
yeah, it's hard for this country. I mean, maybe other countries have similar cultures of, but it is stigmatized here, and there's been a lot of conversation, a lot more than there was, say, when I was younger. But when I
yes.
was younger was when there was a revolution of people wanting to talk about it or leading the way to be able to have words to describe family dysfunction or depression, uh,
Hmm.
and the process one goes through. I mean, it has developed where now we have movies and
Yes, yes.
shows and people are telling their stories in different ways, but also hopefully in organizations that are there to be compassionate to communities. Uh, hopefully they're getting involved with
Hmm.
mental health in some way. I know I was involved with a counseling program where I was a counselor, and we were able to give 10 free sessions to those in need, and it was an extraordinary experience. This was before I became an actor, and so I was doing that work um, uh, just as a volunteer, but it led me to a place where I could take in my dream to pursue acting professionally for the rest of my life. And it's but getting to uh, be there for other people who are, for many times they were strangers, they weren't people I knew well or knew at all,
Hmm.
and to be able to hear their stories, um, and for them to be able to work through things that are debilitating, and I don't know, depression is just some of the most difficult experiences a human being can suffer through.
It
And then
really
and
is.
I've played a number of these sort of people in depression or in mental health crisis, a number of times on film already, and it's very unique. I'm right now with a film called With Joyful Ring. We
Yes,
are
I was going to talk to you about that.
Yeah, I don't know. But that one clearly is talking about the issue of mental health for a particular man who has suffered great loss
Hmm.
and is working through a Christmas day, trying to set himself up for joy
Hmm.
or for love. And he accesses memories and he treats himself well
Right.
with the hope of connecting to someone he loved more than anyone in the world. And so it was very special to do that film. Anyway, but yeah, I agree with
No.
you. I am with you on that, and I'm it's hopefully other artists or anybody who's watching this now can do one thing a day, one thing today, just to reach out to somebody who they may think may need
Hmm.
a little compassion,
Right.
a friend, a friendly gesture,
Hmm.
even just a hello, a phone call, a text, word of encouragement. It can go a long way. It can save a life.
And it's true, and I leave it with this is like what you said, it's very important that we communicate with friends and loved ones. And and it's just it doesn't matter because you don't know what they're going through. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
And that is what wanna want to talk about. So now you've done a lot of projects and recently you did a film with Vasquez Pictures. And by the way, I saw that film.
Mhm.
Amazing, amazing, emotional, tear-jerking film for me about
Mhm.
refugees. Played as Iceman. I say Iceman, but as police officer. But it was emotional. And how was that affected you personality?
uh you mean working with Josimar on his, because it was for a series he was developing called Little Moments.
Hmm.
So he was telling fictional stories of immigrants, um, first generation Americans, Latinos, from different parts of Latin America, and the particular hard issues that they're up against in trying to leave violence in their homeland where they're from, trying to really live, survive, save your children, find a better life. But more of it is in a way being pushed out of your home. It becomes unlivable. So many people I've met here in Los Angeles have told me their stories of leaving, um, El Salvador or other places where there's been incredible upheaval, and war and violence, unspeakable violence. And I'm amazed every time I hear a story. So it's great that Josimar is telling these stories in a more truthful way,
Hmm.
because a lot of times in politics and and in certain media they'll talk about those coming over the border, for example, as trying to take advantage and all of that, as though they had much of a choice, in what they're doing. It's Yeah, my hat's off to him. I love his story. I love his the quality of film that he makes, the people he puts together. Um, and there's always a special spirit on the set with Josimar. So yeah,
He's a great guy, and I've seen the film,
yeah,
and you're right. People come to America for all kinds of reasons, but especially what you're talking about, because And
Yeah.
I just leave it with this as well. I wish people would understand what they're going through before you judge them, speak to them. And
Well, that's it, right? I mean, regardless of what media might say or politicians, um, where's the compassion? Where's the
right, that's what I
stepping
was saying.
stepping back to trying to understand the human being?
Hmm.
You know, it's something we're losing sight of, I think. And
I personally agree with you. We are, and yet, and still this day, you have people going through that. And that
oh
was
yeah, that hasn't
uh,
stopped.
well, I know, of course, and that's what I mean. But I mean, yes, um,
It might be getting worse, you know. I mean, it's the world is becoming a bit more aggressive and
right.
um, a little more dangerous, I think, you know.
Yeah, that's true, 100%. And of course,
Leadership.
right. And so did you George Shamir approached you about working with the film and where was it filmed at? The location.
You're talking about, I've done multiple projects with Josie Mars. So you're talking about Circles, I think, right?
Yeah,
Circles.
Cirque was one of them as well. I'm sorry, I shouldn't mention that name.
Yeah. Um, yeah, you know, uh, we had a location here in Los Angeles, um, and shot Circles there. Really, it was one location, one house, and it was beautifully shot. You know, it was well organized, and yeah, it was a it was a nice day, and to
Yeah, I
watch Josie
noticed.
was always a treat.
Yes, I watched The Circle. Amazing, wonderful story as well. And then I watched his recent film, not recent, but the one film that he did about the father being taken away. Um, can't
Well,
think of
that's Circle.
Circle. Okay, I'm sorry, Circle. I had my brains.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah.
But
Well, you're
yes,
interviewing so many people, Ryochi. You've got
yes,
you.
I am. My brain is
Yeah.
like left and right.
Yeah.
My brain goes in 360, maybe more than 360. I'm being honest with you, but yes, I've seen it, and that was emotional. The father being taken away, and you know
Mhm.
that's happening this day. And for me, it's more emotional because I wish, you know, people, and it's just more acceptance, more understanding, have feelings for other people, and then acceptance is like you said, is hear their stories before you judge them, and I, for me, who is from Japan, and there's a lot of Japanese people in Los Angeles and Texas, you name it, in the big cities, but you hear people's stories and it's just, you understand and you sit with them or you're standing there and you listen to their conversation and you're like, wow, I understand where you're coming from, what happened in your home country, your hometown, what you're going through. And it's like amazing. I shouldn't say amazing, but emotional stories, right? And that's what me personally, myself, but you and film directors and producers and actors and actresses, we're making films for those people, for those stories, to tell stories like that. So people know, we hope that we are changing their mind. We hope. And you may disagree, but that's how I view it.
I don't disagree. I'm listening to you. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, you can't. It's hard to attach an expectation to any work that we do because we can't control that.
No.
Um, but I know that when uh, I'm sitting in a theater, or even if I'm, you know, watching something in a, you know, in a place where I could take in what's on TV, for example, and it just hits you emotionally, and you know, I don't know that their motive is to change my mind, but it is to make me aware, and
Hmm.
maybe I can learn from something or be and in particular to mental health issues or others struggle, we can maybe become more empathetic.
Yes,
It's
100%.
that would be an amazing uh, outcome
Right.
from any of my work. I would love to be able to help people feel
Hmm.
more connected, safer, more aware, maybe more creative, to love life more, to just enjoy the moment more, or to be able to understand someone else in a different way. Wouldn't that be amazing? In a more truthful way, in a way that,
Hmm.
you know, helps the community, helps a stranger, helps you personally, Yeah.
I totally agree with you. And by the way, I saw you have upcoming projects, and if you, I don't know if you're allowed to talk about them. Would you talk about some of your upcoming projects that you have?
A lot of what's happening now, yes, I can. Uh, I did a lot of films last year. I did quite a number of short films, and I also worked on a feature. Um, and a number of those films are uh, out at festivals now or about to be released for film festivals. So that's I was able to get out to Park City in January to slam dance with one of those films, a film called Jimmy Bowden, which is a
Hmm.
dark comedy, wonderful film. And we were really excited to be part of Slam Dance because Slam Dance's partner is like a brother festival to Sundance, and it's in Park City at the same time. And so you get to benefit from all the Sundance people and go to those films, and they can come to your films, and you know, it's everywhere you go, you're meeting passionate and a lot of times very successful filmmakers.
Right.
You're kind of in this village for 8 days together. It's amazing. So that was really a nice surprise, and it was a premiere for that film. We just got a notice that we're going to the Beverly Hills Film Festival in April with Jimmy Bowden. So excited about that. So anybody who's
Amazing.
local, it's a great film. It's a great little film. So and it's a lot of fun. So if anybody's interested, they can catch us locally. Um, with Joyful Ring was the first film I did last year in literally a year ago, January. Gary, my friend and director, writer, had conceived the film, talked to me about it, and we just filmed it. We just did it. So a friend of mine from scene study class, one of my favorite actors, Elena Hollander. So I had her come in, and she played the other character in the film. And that was just a beautiful film. Gary
Hmm.
wanted to talk about mental illness and kind of put that up front for the film. So, it starts off with the man waking up on Christmas morning and taking depression medication. That's shown. And then him working through his day until a Christmas miracle happens.
That's
Um,
amazing.
and it was wonderful to do. It was such a personal thing because there is a loneliness in depression, and so the character is alone through this film, and so there weren't any lines. It was all done you know silent, and so that was a unique challenge. And then there was such various feelings coming through as memories were being accessed, and
Right.
and that was fun to shoot. We laughed so hard on that set. We just really loved the process. We loved each other. and just found great joy because it was
Hmm.
a film searching for joy. And it was interesting while we were filming that we just accessed some really wonderful, generous sort of laughter,
Right.
um, and and that I think may you can maybe see some of that joy underneath that storyline because in a way that was always inside of this character,
Hmm.
and he knew that because but he had when you suffer loss, when you suffer tragedy, when you suffer depression, you something gets you into an abyss and you just feel like you can't get out again. um you know it's nice to feel that there might be hope somewhere, and certainly this character is able to really have a wonderful outcome in a day that he purposefully set up to have a little miracle of joy. So we're proud of this film. We've had, I think, 18 film festival
Hmm.
selections with Joyful Ring. We just were selected at the International Christian Film Festival, Music and Film Festival, which um, is kind of the can of Christian film festivals,
Right.
and they do a wonderful job. I went there 2 years ago with my first feature film, actually, Rubaru, which is streaming now out there.
Hmm.
And we were up for uh, 4 awards that we didn't win, you know, but we wound up winning Best Feature Film Audience Choice out of about 45 feature films, I think.
Yes, I
And
saw that.
so we
Congratulations.
were so excited. So that was 2 years ago. And then just, I think last week, we found out that with Joyful Ring, our short film, we're back at the International Christian Film Festival. And I have it's to find out they've nominated me for Best Actor. I was like, okay, that's very, I'm excited to be able
And
to
that's what I want to talk
celebrate the
about.
film.
I noticed that again. So congratulations.
Oh,
I noticed that. So
yeah, I mean, we don't do it for those sorts of things, even though people watching will go, "Oh, come on." But yeah, no, it's just nice. We've had about 10 awards already with Joyful Ring, with art direction, with direction, with best short. We've had a few best short awards already with that film, and it's I love celebrating a film. And Jimmy Bowden, I was not the lead in Jimmy Bowden, but we had so much fun celebrating our film, and I've got I've got about 7 films out there now that are
mhm.
working through some film festivals and things like that. And anytime there's a festival or a screening, that's the best thing, to be able to sit with your filmmakers, your fellow actors, if you can,
Right. 100%.
and with an audience, sit in a
Yes.
theater full of
With the audience.
friends and strangers, and experience, what you've put your heart into
Hmm.
on set. It's I try to take advantage of that every chance I get and enjoy that and share, because
Yes.
why else are we doing it?
Right.
So.
It's amazing. Again, congratulations. All your work
Oh,
done.
thank you, Rich.
And of
Yeah,
course,
it's been a busy 6.5 years of doing this. Yeah.
yes, I noticed that. And of course, this is your second time on my show. So
Yes, I was an early interviewee, I think, right?
I believe
Was
so. And then so um again, I
I'm
appreciate
sorry. It's funny. Josie Mar's trying to call right now from Peru.
oh,
I have to I have to turn off my FaceTime, I guess. Yeah, he's trying to call in. Funny guy.
oh, well, telling myself hello, but I appreciate you coming on my show. It's like I told you, it's been a roller coaster. I believe you were my first top 10 people, 15 people on my show. And
I was at first.
and
Well, it's
and
wonderful to see you continue. You've interviewed so many people. I don't know how many interviews have you done so far?
I've lost track.
Have
I've
you lost track?
yes,
You got to count those. You got to count them. You got
I
to count
know.
them. You got to have that
I
number.
have my show is on my show is on IMDb. Forgive me, people, if you're watching, you are watching, but forgive me. It's on IMDb. I have an IMDb. And um, you
So
know,
the numbers on there is what you're saying.
yeah. So, but to be honest, you've been on my show. And it means from the bottom of my heart, like for you and other people that come back on my show, and it's just been a journey.
Well,
I
I think everybody loves what you're doing and your dream, and it shares with our dream and what we're doing. We're all connected, you
mhm.
know. Eh, yeah, I mean, we're all artists, we're all creative, we all love actors, we all love filmmakers, you know, and storytellers. And
And I don't know if you watched the Oscar, but I did. Is when I forgot what his name was. Forgive me, but when he was crying and he was a little boy and he said, "Mother, I finally won an Oscar award." You know, that hit me because when I was a little child, I grew up. I always say this. I grew up watching Oprah, and then I grew up watching Ellen DeGeneres until she ended her show, and it devastated me because I grew up watching Ellen all my life. You know, I came, when I was depressed, I came from school. I watched her. She made me laugh. She does jokes. You know, so she helped me to continue my dream to have a talk show, and this is where I am now. And that Oscar it was emotional because it talks about don't give up on your dreams because you never know what's going to happen whenever your moment is. So, again, Matthew, thank you.
well, that's
You were in the top 15 people on my show, so it means a lot.
no, it's nice to see you on Roku. I love your opener for your show. It's very professional. Right?
But
It's
thank you. I
really great.
appreciate it.
You look happy, Ryoshi. You look happy.
I know I shouldn't say I know, but I mean, thank you. I've been through a lot, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And thank you for supporting me. And you're always welcome back on my show, and I can't wait to have you back.
Well, that'd be great. Yeah, I mean, there's different. You asked me what I have coming up, and I'll be doing a film. I'll be shooting in 2 weeks a film where I'm playing a husband who is suffering from Alzheimer's and
Mhm.
is being cared for at home, and has uh, winds up hitting his wife, and then he winds up calling 911 to try to help his wife and to uh, help the situation in a moment of clarity when he realizes what he did, because he didn't certainly mean to do that, but
Right.
and that film in itself is giving awareness to the many victims of Alzheimer's who are being cared for at home by a
Hmm.
loved one, which is very difficult work, and there's very unique circumstances around that what happens there, and when you have an episode with someone who isn't in, who is in a way is not themselves, and do you call the police if something happens? the police don't necessarily respond properly for mental health calls. So it's a unique film. I'm really excited. I just got the script about 2 days ago, so I'm just starting to work on that. So that's going to be a unique thing, and I'm getting to work with one of my favorite filmmaking teams. The DP on that one is one of my favorites I've ever worked with, and it looks like the actress who will be playing my wife in that is a actress I've worked with last year in a dark comedy called Dinner Date. So I'm hoping it's all coming together now, but I'm very excited to be able to work with colleagues who I've thoroughly enjoyed and doing work that's really
Right.
that hopefully resonates and allows me to kind of really try to bring out some part of humanity that is challenging, unique, complex, and try to have a truthful performance if I can, so
Amazing.
that's what's coming up in the next 2 weeks. So, and then we'll hopefully have bigger things to say this
Yeah,
year.
so after that comes out, I definitely want to have you on because you know,
So, but we have a film called The Meeting, which is coming out or screening anyway in April. I have a film Indictus that is screening in April. I did a number of films last year. I did about 19, I think, short films. So there's a number that are coming out, and I'm excited to see them because there's anticipation, and
right.
another film that just screened. What is it called? Oh, I can't even remember. The Late Forrest Whitaker. No, not Forrest. The Late Thomas Whitaker, I think, is the name of the Forrest Whitaker was an actor. So there's a number of films that would be on my IMDb if anybody wants to look at that. But anyway, there's a lot I could talk to you about, Ryochi, but it's well,
of course, there's many more. And I just wanted to talk about your recent film, especially the mental health film you're doing, and then the Alzheimer's film that you're talking about. That's very number two films I really wanted to talk about about it. And I'm so excited for you and all the works that you're doing. And of course, when I have you back, I want to talk about more of your films.
There you go.
And
Well,
again,
it's always fun to see you, Ryochi, and I do follow you, and I've enjoyed watching your journey. And I'm so sorry you had to suffer as much as you have with depression
mhm.
and trying to understand it and just
When I lost my first friend when I was a sophomore in high school.
No way.
Yes. And I went on vacation and I came back and there was rumors in schools and I asked someone what's happening because him and I were close, and I didn't know what's going on. And they told me to contact this person, and I contacted this person. Um, can't say the name, protect that person, but classify. I got an email, and I read the email. It's like the whole page, and I fell out of my office chair and just bawled. I I was throwing things in my room. I couldn't I couldn't ex you can't explain it. But if there was a movie camera recording it, it would have been a real movie scene. I mean, I fell down and cried and throwing things and getting mad at things and just screaming and crying and it was just a shock, you know. And I had to cope going back to school the next day, and my brain was not functioning. It was like, and then it was just a mess, and then of course St. Patrick's Day, I lose someone, and I lose another person. So I've lost three friends, to suicide, you know, and for me, it's just, it's a shock, it's like a movie, then replaying in my brain, sometimes I, slap myself in my hand, wake up thinking, wait a minute, did this really happen? Am I living in a reality? Am I in a movie called One Player One? That movie I like, but am I in that reality? Am I wearing a headset? I had to stop my face. I was like, is this really happening? Is this my life that I'm going through? Is this my life that I have to tell people I just lost three friends from suicide? There might be people out there that made more, but for me, it's like, this is my story. This is my story that I'm telling, you know, and I've been told that people tell me, they're like, Ryochi, we don't know what you're going through.
Mhm.
You don't know what I'm going through. Why are you telling me that? That's not what I want to hear from you. I want to
Did
hear,
you have a sense? Did you have a sense of what your friends were going through,
you know,
or
I
did it
saw,
come as a
you know,
surprise for you? Yeah,
I saw some signs,
you did.
but I never thought it'd be that bad. Right?
Gotcha.
No.
Okay,
That's-
like with Twitch, nobody.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's for me, it's like, um,
Mhm.
I always tell people enjoy the moment with people. And, anybody who I meet in person, only in person, it's like I don't say goodbye to them. That's just me. I always say, okay, I'll call you or text you later, you know, see you later. I don't say bye.
You
I,
keep a connection alive. You
I
keep
don't
you
do
keep.
that for me personally.
Yeah.
Because for me, when you say goodbye, or that's to me, that's means different to me. When someone to me says, okay, goodbye, Rio, just see you later, I don't say bye. I would say, okay, I'll call you or text you later.
Yeah.
You look at me like, oh, okay. For me, that's how I roll, right? And that's how I take it. And so, when I talk about mental health, about what I'm going through,
Mhm.
I always tell people, and what makes, and I'm going to open up to say this because I'm not afraid to talk about this, is that I met people who told me, oh, who tell their kids they need to be careful what they read. And they said, no, stop right there. You don't understand. This is mental health. And they look at me like, oh, we don't know what you're talking about. I said, no, okay, that's the problem I'm having. We need to talk about mental health. We need to talk about mental health because we don't know what everybody's going through. And for me personally, when someone tells me that, it makes me upset because, it makes me hurt because you're telling your family or you're telling your kids to be careful what they read or what they hear or if someone talks about mental health, it's not real. No, it is real. It is real. If somebody, if your daughter or your son has a friend that's going through mental health and you're telling your kids that, oh, that's not mental health, that bothers me because you're teaching people to ignore that. And if you ignore it, then that's where the downfall happens. And for me, if I've experienced it deeply.
So you're dealing with parents of children who are not necessarily helping their kids with mental health crisis or issues uh,
Yes.
by restricting their ability to search and look for
Hmm.
information or help or anything like that.
And
Well, that's
it,
horrible. You know
it,
that's
um,
it. Yeah, I don't
it,
know
um,
how that's why that's happening.
it
You
devastates, you
so
know,
much.
um, it devastates me for a person.
Well, yeah. Well, you've seen the
That,
outcome of,
right.
yeah. Were your friends suffering from similar things with trouble at home or not being understood or,
I don't know, being honest,
yeah,
you know, but it devastates me when you have people, majority of Americans, and this is a society that we don't talk about mental health. You you try to reach out for help, and you have people to who look at you and they think, oh, that mental health is not real, but it's real. You know,
of course it's real. Well, mental health, everybody has it, you
it
know.
does, and
Sometimes
it bothers me.
everybody has mental health, and everybody's dealing with their mental health every day, So some people go to church for their mental health. Some people go out to a
Right.
concert for mental health. Some people read a book or just take a walk or whatever. But you're always sitting with your mental health,
Yes.
and
And that's what, and Josh Shamir, real quick, made a film about mental health. Um, and I cried. I saw that film,
yeah,
in a room. He was going through things,
right,
that reminded me of my life, what I went through,
yeah.
you know,
One of my
and
favorite films I saw when I was younger. It was a film that really. I mean, there were a number of films that really dealt with mental health well when I was growing up, and there weren't many before that. They were done in stylized ways, or that kind of, I don't know, symbolically or whatever. But um, to have a real truthful film being made on mental health. Robert Redford, I think it was his first film that he directed and
Mhm.
produced. He's the one who created Sundance.
Right.
He made a film called Ordinary People, and that was um, maybe 1980, something like that. And you had Timothy Hutton playing the son of a upper middle class family outside of Chicago. You can call them wealth. They were successful, wealthy families, so to speak, country club family. And
Yeah.
you had Donald Sutherland, who was in Hunger Games. He played the father, compassionate, trying to help his family, not afraid about mental health and talking about it. And then you had Mary Tyler Moore, who played her first dramatic role ever. She was a famous sitcom legend, Mary Tyler Moore Show and Dick Van Dyke Show. She was a funny lady, and here she played the mother who could not be compassionate. She
Right.
couldn't be. She lost her favorite son, and now her other son is broken and going to a psychologist or psychiatrist, and she can't handle that. She can't have that in her society. She can't have anybody know. So it's a beautiful, beautiful film going into the son's story, the connection with the mother, the husband. I mean, that's a film I would recommend, uh, just to get a sense of a parent who will
Right.
not accept that mental health should be talked about, limiting how they should read about it or whatever. I mean, it's unbelievable that still is going on in homes, in good homes, you know. Anyway, yeah, and I was young then, and fell in love with acting, fell in love with filmmaking. The whole, I used to go to theater all the time because I just loved the stories and the uh having, I don't know, just watching
Hmm.
people who cared so much to tell stories,
And that's what I'm doing.
and be transformed,
Yeah. I
But anyway,
appreciate it.
thank you for being so
Yeah,
open
thank
and
you.
honest with me. So
You're very welcome. And I love what I'm doing. I want,
yes, you do.
I want to impact people from mental health to talk about acting as well, because both of those are my number one topics, you know.
Yeah, well, you're on Roku.
Yes.
You've got you've got your Los Angeles I love your backdrop. I live in that scene somewhere, right in there, somewhere in there, I think is where I live. So my
Yes.
my view out the window is similar to that there,
Yes, I love LA.
Yeah, LA's great. Have you been here before?
Of course, I used to go every summer, but I haven't been back because of the
Oh, you have. Well, I've never known this about you. I didn't know.
yes, I
So
used to drive,
you did.
yeah, about 18 hours nonstop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you're in Oklahoma, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you can edit that out if you don't want people to know that.
No, it's okay. But no, but
but
21 hours I can drive.
so when you came to LA, did you have friends here? Do you have family here? Did you just come to go to an event? What brought you? What was your reason for coming here?
I came to LA to, well, I've been there many times, but
Really? A lot.
yeah,
You just got in the car and go. You
yeah,
just get in the car and you go to LA.
because I flew into Los Angeles Airport, but
Mhm.
oh, cool, okay, this is California. But I was like, eh. And then I was like, you know what? I want to take a road trip. I was like, I'm on vacation. Let me just drive. And I
Yeah.
drove through LA, went to San Francisco, but spend most of the time in LA. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I
What'd you do when you were here?
well, I walked by the Warner Bros. Studios,
Okay.
and I'm gonna brag about this. I tried to get into Ellen DeGeneres' show, but unfortunately, tickets sold out.
Oh no. Yeah.
It's
Tickets.
okay. It's okay. That was
You might have to
that,
pre-plan that sort of. I mean, she's not doing it now, but
yeah, that
it's
was
fun. It's fun to see a show taped.
right. That was a kind of plan, kind of not. I just took a chance and took a risk. Anyway,
Got it.
that was one. And then I went to the Hollywood sign, ate a lot of food in downtown Los Angeles.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
that's where you will see me. That's where I was the most. And that's
Downtown. Yeah.
yeah, because I love downtown, so you see me in downtown a lot. And so and
Yeah.
went to Beach, enjoyed the beach, and I felt relieved. I felt you close your eyes and you just sit there and you hear the beach breeze, and then
Mhm.
you kind of somehow your ears start ignoring the crowd and the noise, and that's where you can meditate. That helped me some. It helped me. So um,
Yeah.
I want to.
Do you find that every day you have some sort of practice, much like my character in With Joyful Ring?
Yes.
Do you find you have some sort of practice in a day to just help you find a bit of happiness or an anchor to hold on, some sort of thing to hold on to?
I listen to music.
Yeah. Well, I do too. Music for me is a big one.
For
Always
me,
has.
the one that makes me more relaxed, Adele
Okay.
and Lady Gaga. Those two.
They
But
make you relax. They make you feel relaxed.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's just, and then the people think it's weird, but
It's not, you know what it is? It's the words, it's the stories,
yeah, it's the words. There you
it
go.
is. It's because the music itself is not necessarily a meditation.
If you listen
Yeah.
more to what they're singing,
Well, that's it, right? Yeah.
then
It's
that's
always,
why
yeah,
close your eyes and just relax.
right,
But
right. Yeah.
thank you. It
Okay.
is the truth. Thank you for asking that. But Matthew, I appreciate you coming on, and um, thank you for supporting me. And I can't wait to have you back on and talk about more about your film.
Yeah, or mental health.
Yes,
So
I definitely want to have a show just talk about mental health. So when I have you back, let's just talk about mental health.
That'd be really that might be very impactful for that. Yeah, it's I mean we can have a brave conversation, right? And
Yes, I definitely want to do that if you're up to that.
because these are hard topics to talk about and to listen to
Yes,
and to participate with. It's um yeah, I love that you open up like you are to your audience, because it's hopefully somebody is helped in some way, just for
that's what.
the fact that we're talking about it. I mean, to have an ease, to be able to talk about it easily is an amazing thing for some people. Some people never have seen that before.
No, and that's my number one goal too,
Yeah, good for you, Rich.
and grow my
Yeah.
show, but to
I'm
help
so
them.
sorry. Yeah, about your friends and everything. It's hard to have that with you,
Hmm.
you know. Um, but in a way, you're turning it around so you can celebrate and help in another way, right?
Yes,
So
100%.
yeah.
Yes, seriously, I do want to have you back and let's talk about mental health.
All right, Ryochi.
Thank
Okay.
you for coming on. Tell Joe Shamir I said hello.
Yeah, I guess I should try to call him back, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell him I said hello and I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
That's
He's,
good.
he's doing very well.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, I'll message you soon and I'll have you back about mental health.
Thanks, Ryochi.
We'll have a
Yeah,
show
well,
about mental health.
I'm looking forward to seeing your opening title for this one. It's
Yes,
so
sir.
a great show. It's a great opening you
And
got.
then also don't forget to promote it.
Well, yeah, yeah. Do you pull images out of like my Instagram or something? How are you gonna
Yes, yes, we do.
Is that what you do? Yeah.
Yes. So,
Well, I can
but
also send you. Oh, well, you've got things, I guess, on there from the films.
yes,
With Joyful Ring, I could send you some things if you want, but you have all that stuff, I think, right?
I
Yeah.
believe so. If not, I'll contact you.
Yeah. Awesome, man. All right.
All right. Thank you for coming
Good.
on.
We'll see you.
All
Okay.
right. Talk to you later.
Bye
Bye.
bye.